Hello, creative people. Good evening. How are you? I hope you all are. Okay. On today's video, we are going to talk about the typography. So, without the further ado, let's get started. Okay. Let me remind you, if someone is following my video, then obviously you know what we are going through and what we are learning. If someone is visiting very first time and watching this video at the very first time, then I would like to inform or update that I'm creating a series of video where I'm trying to give you my own personal experience and knowledge. Okay, for those who are a very beginner in the logo designer and who want to become a logo designer. Okay, there is a basic prerequisite for this particular course. At least if you have a graphic design knowledge, then it will be much more beneficial for you. But if you don't have graphic design knowledge also, you can learn from the beginning and you can become a good logo designer. Okay, it's not that you need to be a great graphic designer or at least you have a graphic designer. It's just that it will be much more easier if you have a basic understanding of graphic knowledge, even though you can learn from the beginning. Okay. Yeah, let's get it started. And on today's topics, we are going to talk about the typography. Okay, so very important topic. Okay, so we already talked about we finished our module one session where I tried to explain what is a logo, what is not logo, and what is the important rules. Okay, and on last video, I think I introduced about the Adobe Illustrator, and before that, I introduced some of the elements of uh, graphic or logo design. Okay, so in this series of video, I'm just focusing on graphic design. Sorry, logo design. That's why I called elements of logo design. But the elements that are used in logo design and the elements is quite same for the graphic design also. Okay, so today onwards, I'm starting second module, that is typography in logo design. Okay, so first is importance of typography, and on today's topic, I'm going to focus on this particular things, and I will give you some basic information about the typography and why we need to select and how what kind of typography is there. Okay, so first let's understand importance of typography selection. Okay, so let me give you some basic idea. Okay, let's go to the Google and let's start some exploring. Let's start with the horror. Okay, horror kind of font. So as you can see, the typography, all the fonts are quite creepy. Okay, now some kind of scratched or something dropping down, bloody and reddish. Okay, dark kind of background. Okay, so here we are not talking about the background or anything. Just look at the font or typography. So it gives a kind of horror looks, a kind of a different vibe. At the same time, for example, if we select like a normal font, okay. So if we select some normal font, does it look like horror? Obviously not. It's very plain, normal. Nothing is there. Like the font is not telling any story. Obviously, it telling in a different story, but not as a horror kind of what do you call a story. So as we see all the fonts, look at the fonts, look at this texture of font and the typography styles. It gives a kind of like creepy vibes. Yes, this is the importance of font. And at the same time, let's say I will type a kids type of font. Okay, I'm just giving you a kind of example. So yeah, see the fonts are very round, bold, okay, and not aligned with each other. It's just like they are moving in their own way, having fun kind of. So you can see the font and the color vibes. Because of that, we can see some kind of good vibes and good feelings. Color also different than the horror. Okay, obviously we will talk about the colors things in later class, but at least you can see the style of font. Okay, and let's say some classic font. Okay, maybe okay, some classic font, mostly this kind of fonts. See how beautiful. Like it gives a vibe, classic looks, even though it is a modern type of font. Okay, we are still you can still use, but it gives a classic vibes. The way the fonts are, font style and fonts are like creating the message or sharing the emotion. So this is the basically it's a types of what do you call it, styles in a font. Okay, this is why it is much more important. For example, at the same time, if we select or if we choose, let's say there is a one movie or any brand or anything that is work with the like related with ghost, horror, scary. Okay, maybe some writer is writing a book about the horror story, and you are the what do you call designer for the font titles, let's say a book title. Okay, it is also a kind of logo. Okay, and the book is a kind of brand. And when you if you select normal font or any classic font or any kids type of font, then obviously that book or that cover doesn't support the what do you call the book story. Okay, in other side you can maybe think like, okay, so don't judge book by the cover, or in the first page or in the front cover there is a different kind of looks, and if we go read the books then there will be a different like thriller, not exactly. Okay, you can experiment it, though if succeed it is good. Okay, there is no any like kind of any specific rules that you have to follow, such kind of patterns. You can experiment. If it is successful, if it's good for you. If it's not successful, then anyway, you understood. Okay. Anyway, so basically, fonts are only two types. Okay, I'll show you the font types. Basically, okay, basically, I'm telling you basically. So there is serif font and there is sans serif. Now there is a two difference. So I'm trying to give you a very clear picture here. That's why I'm not putting anything else. So there is a sans serif and serif. Serif are a little bit decorative. Like you can see the round. Okay, you can see the round or something edges are coming out. Okay, this is a series serif font, and next is sans serif, where there is a text are very sharp, pointy. Okay, there is no any fancy like hanging anything else. Okay, just a plain simple text are there. So this is a sans serif. Okay, basically these are the two types. But if you want to choose multiples, then here comes. So I'm showing you the reference also where you can get the free font also. See, serif, sans serif, display, handwriting, and mono space. These are the like common types of font. Okay, basically main types. If you can want to see, then these are the main things: serif and sans serif. Okay, and after that, if you want to play around, then obviously this is the basic thing that you can search. Okay, so before that, I showed you the classic and the kids type horror. It's just a style, okay? The way we perceive the things and the way we try to play with the typeface and we create font styles for a particular design, okay? Well, this is later. So yeah, this is a serif. Let's say I will select only serif font here, and we can see the like all the decorated type of fonts are here. Okay, we can select. Okay, range of fonts are there. There are various fonts, so we can select what font we like and what kind of project that we are going. Okay, so based on that, we can select the particular font. Okay, for example, let's say if some brand is related with the army or something, then we can choose sans serif font. Okay, sharp, because the armies are very sharp and they are very disciplined and they are very structured, aligned. Okay, so yeah, so this is how we need to understand. First, we need to understand the brand structure, what kind of structure, and based on that, we need to select the font so that it can align with together. Okay. Well, and there is another is display font. Mostly display fonts are a little bit bigger, bold. Okay. a little bit in different in type. See, you can see the like a little bit build bold and bigger kind of things. Obviously, we can use on for the this kind of text in armies kind of things. See, these are a little bit a different style. Low is not a display font. Okay, and and there is let's say handwriting. So it looks like handwriting font. Obviously, we can see. So this is the cursive, monocursive or something. So yeah, these are the types of font. Okay, and this is the font library. Google Fonts. It's free of cost. Whatever you want, you can use. There are thousands of font are there. See, these are the basic mono. What do you call it? Mono space fonts are there. Mix up serif and sans serifs. So yeah, this is how you can select, and this is the types of font. Basically, these are the things, and don't worry about to understand in depth. First, you are learning here. You are a very beginner. Okay, there are so many things. That's why I kept one image here. Let's say anatomy of typeface. Okay, yeah, there is the another slide. So anatomy of typeface. If you want to go deeper, then there is see X height is there, height is there, letter spacing is there. So letter spacing is important here in logo design. We need to understand that. Okay, I will explain while we are designing, and maybe next video I can explain a little bit depth. Okay, so there is a baseline, X height, leading. Okay, stroke. These are the very details and aperture are here. Okay, so basically we need to understand the like this letter spacing and x height and the baseline. These are the things basically we need to understand so that we can create font that is aligned or having a very good amount of spacing for each logo. Okay, and the baseline should be very straight. Okay, if like it depends, obviously it depends upon the brand that you are playing, but you need to look for the baseline also. So and excite is generally like the small letter of height, and the caps height is related with the your this what do you call capital letters height of the letter. So well, basically, these are the things that you want to understand. And if you want to learn much more in depth, then there is a material 2, okay? And now there is a material 3 also. But for the typography and understanding of typography, this uh, article is very good, okay? So you can see a baseline and a detailed explanation. For example, the baseline is the invisible line of this, okay? Baseline basically the where the font stands, okay? Not for the that other font. So when we were child, okay, we used to write in a 4 line copy. So the what do you call the second last line is the what do you call a baseline whenever we are writing, and there is how to write and how can we arrange the play with the typography. Okay, so what is cap height, x height, and the ascenders and the descenders. Okay, and the weight means boldness of that particular font. Okay, there is a light, regular, medium, and bold. We need to understand those things for the logo design. Okay, mostly for the generally if we are giving a bold, that means it will highlights, and that's why we try to select bold font for the main name. Okay, and for the light and regular is for the what do you call the secondary name or slogan. Okay, sometimes we try to play with a different font for the let's say secondary. I will show you the one example. Let's show you. Okay, let's go to the image. So sometimes I'm not quite fan of that particular logo, but just I'm trying to what do you call showing try to show you the difference between. Okay, yeah, there is a. So the in the main we are seeing, no, it's not like clearly visible. I think this can be. These can, I don't know why it is not visible. Okay. Yeah. Oh, see. Oh, sorry. I'm so sorry about that. But still, you can see, the main font is quite bold and highlighted, and the slogan is "Art of Illumination" is very like in a different format. So to like show the hierarchy or differentiate. Okay. So if we look into the other font also, we can see some other font also. Okay. See, these are the type of, okay, and any other, we can see other also. Uh, okay, yeah, that's all. Well, basically, these are the things that you need to understand, and yeah, and we are talking about the serif and sans serif. So, main try to understand these serif and sans. Just I try to identify the font, which one is serif font and which one is a sans serif. And if you want to choose, basically, what are the fonts that are much more popular in design? Okay, so Poppins is okay, here it is. Poppins. 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 Oh my God. I'm so sorry about that. Poppins should be available. Hmm. Mostly Poppins is much more familiar. Okay, let me search here. At least I can show you the looks font. Yeah, this is the font look. It looks very clean and sharp. Okay, and the letter space also have a good, what do you call it, spacing in each um letter space. That's why it is much more popular and most designers used for UX UI design or logo design. But for the brand or for the logo design, mostly font is purely based on your reference and based on the companies or organization structure. That is the thing. That is the thing that you have to understand. Okay. So let's explore some of the logo. So logos with typeface. Okay, let's see. So yeah, I think it's must. Okay, see, you can see the difference. Okay, so the Laurel, DNQY. Okay, there are many types of Volvo. Look at, you can see the font and the font types. Okay, so it is giving a good different vibe, and so each and every font, every logo has a different font, and based on their brand kind of things. So we can get there is a letter space also different. Okay, so Walmart, Visa. Okay, and in design, for example, if something is like italic kind of slightly moving forward, then it is trying to give you a motion. Okay, whenever if you want to give some kind of motion, okay, then most of the times designer do whatever a little bit slightly tilt towards the right to give a little bit motion. Okay, so these are the things that you need to understand. And before I told you that, like based on the industry and things that you have to apply the typography. Like if you are working with the horror kind, then select like that relates the horror or a creepy things. And if we are working with the kids kind of brand, then look for a similar kind of font so that it can give a playful enjoyment font. Okay, and the color also much more important. We will talk about the color later. Anyway, well, basically, this is the things that you need to understand for the font or typography. Okay, and it gives much more emotion and the connection. So there is a medical brand, okay, let's say pharmacy brand, and if it, I just like laugh. Oh no, I failed. I don't know. It gives me a laugh when like even thinking there is a pharmacy. It is meant to be healed for the human, okay? And designer selected some kind of horror font. Just imagine. There is one pharmacy name, okay? Heal something, let's say heal pharmacy, and we are selecting horror kind of font for the name. So how it looks. Okay, you can imagine. Well, so this is the end of this video, and we will see you on the next video. I hope you get some basic idea about the typography and why it is much more important in logo designing. Obviously, typography is much more important in lots of things. Okay, for in digital or print media design. But here I'm just giving a very basic idea. I'm trying to give you just how to identify your font and how you can play. So while you are learning and while you are practicing, you try to play with the fonts. Then if you at least if you try, if you able to select right font for the right design, even though color doesn't match, your design might look a little bit good, and maybe some other person can see your progress. That's why I'm trying to give you a very basic idea about the font. Okay. Well, that's all for this video, and see you on the next video. And I hope you're enjoying. And one day maybe we can have an interaction, okay? And I would love to hear from you also. Well, bye bye. See you in the next video. Thank you.